My name is Russ, and I'm going to show you the basics of screen printing. We start off with the transparency that you use to burn your screen, and we're going to place it on the platen in order to line up our artwork. You're going to want to tape off any of the areas that the emulsion didn't cover. That way you can keep ink from getting on anything it's not supposed to. Don't forget to hit the registration marks in the back. Also at this time, block off anything else that you don't want accidentally printed. You're going to want to use a good squeegee, and you want to make sure that it's actually big enough to cover the entire artwork. I see people using small squeegees, and ultimately that's going to just leave a line running through your print. There's two main types of ink you can use for printing clothes, and there's Plastisol and there's also water-based ink. For this example, I'm using Plastisol. The downside of Plastisol, it's got to hit about 320 degrees for it to fully cure, but at the same time, it's also a lot easier to use. This board that I'm sticking the shirt onto, it's called a platen. That's what's going to divide the layers of fabric, so that way when I print, I don't get ink running to the other side. If you're printing without a press, make sure you stick something smooth in between the shirt so that way you don't get ink running to the other side as well. I'm going to initially pull back the ink, and that's called a flood, and then I'm going to do a push print because that's what I prefer. As I'm pushing the ink through, I'm making sure that it clears the mesh, and if I have to, I can put it back down and print again. If you don't have a press, that's kind of the disadvantage. You only get one shot because it's just not going to line up again. There's three options for drying Plastisol, and this is probably the worst case scenario, which is the heat gun. You could do it and it will work, but your odds of missing some parts that you didn't cure are extremely high. So definitely use a temp gun, and also just take your time making sure you get the entire design. Oh, and be careful. I've definitely started a few fires like this. Next up is the flash dryer, and I would say that's a good option. The only thing with the flash dryer is sometimes you don't get the entire design. You think you did, and someone washes the shirt and you missed an entire spot. It's definitely a better option than the heat gun, but still not the best way to do it. A flash dryer is really designed to heat up the layers of ink so that way you can do multiple colors, not necessarily to cure the entire print. But I get it, we all start somewhere. And definitely use a temp gun with that too. If you get serious about printing, a conveyor dryer is definitely the way to go. Not only does it run on a belt and helps with production, but it ensures that it goes through the heating chamber for a long enough time, and also that it hits the right temperature. 99% of the time, you're going to get a print that's dried right, and it's going to last. And in screen printing, that's the most important. I'm sure other people have different ways to do it, but for me, in my experience, this is what I know. So good luck printing, and thanks for watching. Till next time.